Welcome to Sex, Money, and Real Estate Podcast, the show for real estate couples about how to close more deals in the bedroom. My name is Nancy Jameson.
And I'm Bill Jameson.
And each week we deep dive into juicy, intentional, sexy conversations, sharing with you what it takes to create balance in your intimate relationships and your real estate business. Thank you so much for being here. Shall we begin?
Hey, baby.
Hey, baby.
What's happening on this Sunday afternoon?
How are you doing?
I am doing great.
Awesome. Very cool.
Feeling very productive on this Sunday.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Cool. Why are you feeling so productive?
We've had a Titanic day today, haven't we?
A lot of our days are Titanic days.
That's true. Highly scheduled and Titanic. And on this particular Sunday, we have defrocked the house, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And what else did we do? We defrocked the house. We went on a listing appointment.
Mm-hmm.
We're recording.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing laundry.
Mm-hmm.
And I've set up 2 different laptops over this weekend as well.
Awesome. Very cool.
New laptops.
You're very productive.
We're very productive. Oh, gosh, yeah. And we went car shopping too. So that was
Yes, we did go car shopping.
something else as well. So yeah, it has been an amazing day and it's been an amazing weekend. And I am super pleased to slow down and have this conversation with you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having the conversation.
What are we talking about today?
Well, it sounds like that was all of your magic.
No.
Oh, okay, cool.
We're talking about books today, right?
We are talking about books.
Foundational books that we have read, are reading, or we're rereading again and again, that have been something that has contributed to us over the last, I don't know how many years. Yeah. So, but what we like to do before we get started with all this is to share a little bit of our magic. Can you explain to everybody once again what magic is?
Yes, of course. So magic is, well, how we define magic is how we influence ourself, others, or life in an empowering way. And so it's a really important practice for us and our family and what we teach our coaching clients, how to identify where the magic is in your life. And so once you identify and see all of the magic that's happening in your life, it is so amazing what happens. And really what happens is what you focus on expands. And so the magic just is extraordinary and you're just experience magic all over the place. So that's how we like to start off our episodes. That's also how we incorporate magic into grace when we're sitting down to meals with our kids, as well as gratitude. So what was your magic today?
My magic today actually is around our family 4-mile run yesterday.
Okay, cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
So our 4-mile run is a practice that we have that we do at least once a week, and we do it with the boys. We've been doing it with the boys since they were tots, right?
Yeah, 5
and 6 years old, or something like that.
Yes, 5 and 6 year olds running 4 miles. It can happen.
And they're okay.
They're fine.
Yep. And we had been, as many of you may or may not know, we've been away for the last couple of weeks. We had our family vacation, and we were, although we did get some running in while we were away.
Yeah, we did a good bit, actually.
And hiking and stuff like that. We have not been with our core group of people in a couple of weeks. So it was magic to me to be back in that energy and be back with our peeps, our family and our friends. And, for the boys, the boys run, there are other kids that run the 4 miles every Saturday with us. And so they had their friends that they were running with, which always adds energy to their run. And I just had a really deep appreciation for everybody's and ours, dedication and love and joy for taking care of ourselves while we take care of each other.
So if you're familiar with the new Hollywood, otherwise known as Atlanta, Georgia, you're aware that there's definitely some hills here these parts.
Yeah.
So we typically run in the Sandy Springs part of town with this group. and a lot of hills.
Your Day group.
Yes, Your Day Balance came up on Roswell Road, and so rain or shine. I mean, we've run in rain, we've run in snow, we've run in lightning storms, we've run in sunshine and 90 degrees and 100 degrees and 20 degrees and all kinds of stuff. So we're there every Saturday morning at 7:40. Well, mostly every Saturday morning that we can make it. How about that? And at 7:45 in the morning. And we run 4 miles with the group. It's a beautiful opportunity to get together and catch up from the week and plan for the following week. And it's just really extraordinary.
Yes.
And so we ran 4.5, I think.
We ran
this
4.5
week.
this week.
Yeah. So, it depends. Sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 5, but at that point, who's counting? Cause you're with loved ones, and it's just this beautiful 20 people, I think, were there this week. So It was neat.
Yep.
It was neat. Cool.
So thank you for that. And so, and then I'm sure you had some magic this week as well.
I did. So my magic is around production. I guess your magic was around production capability.
That's
Remember,
true.
Bill and I definitely
Subscribe
to principally centered, and one of those principles is what Stephen Covey of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People call PPC balance. And so the precursor to longevity is sustainability, right? And so we have our production, which takes care of, I guess those are the eggs, and then the production capability takes care of the goose who produces the eggs. So that was.
Did you just call me a goose?
You are a goose.
Thank you.
Can you honk? Please don't.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
And so our production, that was production capability, and our production magic this week is we just got home from a listing appointment, and so the beautiful thing about our listing appointment was, afternoon after we defrocked for Christmas, we're with our super close friends, and they were actually Rex and Luke's first teachers when they went to school, 8-9 years ago for the very first time. And so,
yeah, I mean, we've been in touch with them and out of touch with them.
Sure, absolutely, hung out with them and all kinds of stuff, and it's just so humbling, and I just have such gratitude and appreciation for them calling us after such, our relationship and over the time and 9 years, and then just to have or be a part of their next iteration of their life and to figure out their next phase and where they want to go and what they want to do. And it's extraordinary. So,
yeah, they really shared, they really opened up. It was a listing appointment where, we're hanging out with friends, of course, but yet, they trusted us enough to really open up and talk about, finances and long-term goals, and confided in us so that we could help them with those goals too, which I thought was really beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because those things could definitely go either way, and we've seen them. Just go sideways. I mean, money is a trigger for a lot of people, and sexual intimacy is a trigger for a lot of people, and their kids, are trigger points for people, and so it was just a beautiful example of the trust that they had for us in navigating their next iteration. So I have huge gratitude for them.
Yeah, they're awesome. Very good. Great magic.
Yes.
Are you
absolutely.
complete?
I am. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome.
Snap, snap, snap.
Awesome.
Okay. So foundational books. What does that even mean, my love?
Well, for me, a foundational book is a book that you reference often. Going back to at least, maybe once per week and possibly, or once per month, and possibly reading the book at least once per year. I mean, for me, a foundational book is at the very least one that I go back to once a year and reread the entire thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I would say, yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, back. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
How about anything to add to that, my love?
I mean, they're important, I mean, they're things, think of books that like you can pull off of your shelf, or that maybe you carry around with you, and then just can flip right to the page number and say, oh yeah, this is exactly what we're talking about here, and then reference it from the book. So that's definitely like a foundational book. It's not one of these books where you or workshops where you go and you get the book and you put it on the shelf and then all of a sudden it's like a dust collector. That's not what we're talking about here. So
No, something that triggers something in you or inspires you to be more, do more, and create from a higher level.
Yep. Yeah. So one of the things that we're really inspired by these books is that, you know, these folks, like as we go through them, we're going to give you all the books and the authors and that kind of stuff. But as we go through them, I mean, they're giants in their field. And, you know, it allows us the ability to stand on the shoulders of these giants and not reinvent the wheel. And, you know, these guys have already taken the leap of faith and created the system. And so it just really allows us the opportunity to surrender to the system and the models and the tools and go, you know, and not have a lot of the bumps and bruises or cost associated with doing any of these systems.
So you're saying I don't have to reinvent the wheel?
Correct. Yes.
Okay,
You
cool.
don't have to reinvent the wheel. Awesome. Very cool. And yeah, I mean, this list isn't that very long. You know, I mean, over the 23 years we've been together, I mean, we've read hundreds and hundreds of books.
Libraries.
We've given books away so much that, you know, I mean, yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot, but these definitely are the ones that we go to, and we continue to read. I mean, I am the kind of reader that like reads 4 and 5 books at a time. Like I have currently a stack of books on my side table, and I don't know, 3 or 4 or 8 books in Audible that I'm currently reading, but I like going in between books, but the ones that I really jive with are the ones that I keep going back to. So
Very cool.
that's how I read.
Awesome. So let's get into the foundational books that, you know, we have resonated with over the years. I think mostly the list is a combined list for you and I.
Yeah.
I think with very little exception. So that's pretty cool. Actually, I was noticing that when I was thinking about this earlier, which is cool. I mean, it definitely lends to our synergy and, you know, the conversations that we can have because we're, you know, doing the same thing at the same time. So
yeah, that's true. That is, yeah. We created this list separate from each other, and then we just came back together and said, "What did you have on your list? What did you have on your list?" So that worked out great.
Yeah, it's really very similar. So I guess, and we're going to present these books in no particular order.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
here we
think
go.
that's
So,
appropriate.
the first book that is on the list is a book by Mr. Hawkins himself,
David R. Hawkins.
and that is Power versus Force. Power versus Force, such a book of influence for me and for you too. It has influenced more of and really gone hand in hand with another book on our list, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, reinforcing, you know, being principally centered.
Yeah. So Hawkins really talks about in this book the different levels of consciousness, and so what happens throughout the different levels of consciousness. And a level of consciousness is described as a vibration of energy. And so there are vibrations of energy that are created and dwell in fear. And then there is a threshold, which happens to be the pride line. And then above the pride line, which is 175, you get into the energies that are associated with thriving. So another way of looking at it is that the energy levels or vibration levels below 175 are driven by force, and then the energy levels or vibrations of energy above 175 are really driven by power. So it's
So what we're talking about here is personal power, right? Your personal power, where you resonate at, what level you resonate at, which is the scale of consciousness that David Hawkins mentions in the book is the hierarchy of the consciousness. So say that again. So 175 is
pride.
pride, and that's a transformational area, correct?
Yeah, that's the point in which you go from force into power. And then the other book that Hawkins writes that we really, I mean, I think this deserves an honorable mention because, you know, this is definitely dog-eared as well, is his book about letting go. And so letting go and power versus force definitely go hand in hand. They're all about surrender and how do you surrender, and when you're in that ego storm or like that fear-based storm about the mind, like how do you truly move into that position of surrender and allow your influence to naturally, for you to move naturally from that space of influence, which goes right into 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, because Covey talks about, your center of influence or your center of concern. And he discusses in that book about, the 7 habits for you to be principally centered. I mean, we could have a series of podcasts on 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
And we could, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 7 Habits has been beautiful for us, just in embodying the principles, not being as being more principally based as opposed to whatever the emotionally based concept is, whether it is spousal based or money based. Money, some people are even like enemy
Centered.
Enemy centered,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, identifying what your center is so important. So you kind of have a basis for where you're coming from. And he helps identify that and, and what you can do to make movement. So you are coming from something that is more universal and going to be a little more stable.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Definitely more stable. I mean, it lands the test of time. It goes full spectrum, as opposed to being emotionally centered, which, you're at the whim of whomever or whatever your center is. So the boys, Rex and Luke, are both reading and have been reading 7 Habits for Highly Effective Teens for the last year or so. In fact, one of the things that Bill and I do with them is we have a weekly coaching session with them. Well, we set it up as a weekly coaching session with them where we will talk about 7 habits, and they'll have a set reading assignment, and then we'll come back and ask them what they learn about it. We'll also have the sex conversation with them in that point, and then really anything that they need to talk about, bring to the table. And because it's set up under the auspices of 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens, it's a very empowering conversation, very authentic, very true, and we really appreciate it. And I know they appreciate it. And it's separate. So like Lucas has one session and then Rex has a separate session. The other thing about 7 habits and power versus force is that we utilize this to lead our accountability groups.
So we have accountability group called COI, or Circle of Influence. And they talk about circles of influence actually in 7 habits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so it is an accountability group that gets together every week to talk about different principles in life that help to lead us through more powerfully. Mm-hmm. And it's and hold us accountable to everything that literally everything we're doing or going through in that moment. So fishbowl goals, SMART goals every week. Being held accountable to the goals that we set down, and then getting feedback for when we do them or when we don't do them, or how we could up our game a little bit as well.
Yep, it's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, so I lead my COI on Friday mornings. This is my second one, and then Bill's COI is on Tuesday evenings. It's awesome. What's your next book?
My next book is going to be you know what? I'm going to go with Millionaire Real Estate Agent.
Woo!
The MREA.
For sure.
Which is a beast.
Which we read before we were with Keller Williams.
Yes.
And this is, this is not an advertisement for Keller Williams at all. I'm just saying that this book is so powerful that when we were, where were we? Coldwell Banker?
Yeah.
And then before that, you were with a different brokerage too.
Correct.
So we were reading this even before we made the change to Keller Williams. But I mean, let me tell you something. This Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, woo! This book single-handedly tripled our income in 1 year. 1 year.
And
1 year.
and we didn't have to reinvent the wheel. We just followed the systems.
Yeah, we just followed what Gary said. I mean, we just set up the 4 models and boom. And then we integrated things over the course of the years as we refined and tooled, and we did our business plan. I mean, last week we talked about what it looked like to do our business plan, our GPS, goals, priorities, and strategies, and the schedule associated with that. And that's from the MREA. That's from that book. So
teach you how to run a productive farm, or even how to set up for an open house that is, at
7th level open house.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Where it's productive for your clients and it's productive for you. So yeah, totally amazing book. I know that they are in the process, and they have been talking about this for a while, about revamping the MREA for
updating
a little
the numbers
bit.
And stuff.
Exactly, because it's been a while, and yet, I'm going to tell you that we go through this book every year. and make sure that our models are in line with these models. Yep. And it's been a totally beautiful process, because and I'll just speak for me, because I get into real estate a year or two before you did. I sat there
a year or two.
Okay, a few more than that.
Oh my gosh, he's been in real estate for 18 years, y'all.
So, and I remember sitting there and trying to invent everything that I wasn't even good enough to invent what was in this book. I was just trying to invent stuff to stay busy so I didn't have to sell. And then I thought I was inventing stuff to sell, and then I don't know, it was never overly productive. So this book, the MREA, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, has absolutely changed our lives.
I gotta hang on a second. I would say that this book enhanced what you were doing. I mean, let's be real here. Like, you built a referral-based business from nothing. Like, we had just moved from New York City down to Atlanta, and you built it from nothing. And to date, we have an 87% referral rate, to where our clients refer us 87% of the time. It might even be higher, because quite frankly, I haven't calculated this year yet from 2019, but so it enhanced. It for sure
enhanced. And I understand. Yes, thank you. And I'm blushing a little. And thank you.
Yeah. And it's definitely the one. I mean, I'm looking at these things because we're holding the books as we're talking about them. And we definitely, we're 3 for 3. We definitely read these every year, multiple times, but we're definitely reading these every year. Woo. Okay. So that's a great one for sure. So can I just say that Power versus Force, 7 Habits, and MREA are all on Audible. So is Letting Go. So if you're in the car all the time, like we are, then these things are also on Audible, which is fantastic. Okay, go.
Okay, cool. So the next drum roll is, in no particular order, You Can Heal.
Oh, listen. Hey, Siri or Google.
Google. You Can Heal Your Life.
Yeah. So Louise Hay. So this is Louise Hay's book. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember. We've had this particular book, I feel like we've had for like 18 years. So Louise talks about I'll just give you a nutshell, but over the course of her work with HIV and AIDS patients, she identified patterns of physical patterns of metaphysical manifestation. So a metaphysical pattern, or thought process would then all of a sudden manifest into a physical ailment. So, for example, if I have a cough, then if you look in Louise's book, cough represents barking, like I have something to say and I'm not being heard. So how we use this book is that the body is so magical and so beautiful, and that it's always giving us clues physically. So if we hear, coughing, or if we have like a shoulder, if there's something about a shoulder, or if there's, something about a headache, or if there's foot pain or knee pain or back pain, there's different things associated with it. So she's actually broken down in this book and literally has a list of all I'm not going to say all, but a lot of physical ailments that are a result of a disempowering thought pattern. And so how we use this is just a clue as to what is going on with that person to either maybe assist them or gain a better understanding of where they are and what's going on, so that, you know, if it's work related and these things are going on with our clients, then clearly we have a better understanding of where they're coming from, and we can, you know, have different conversations with them, or have, you know, again, it's really all about understanding and empathy.
Yeah, and it works just as well for you and I too.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. It's like a,
or family.
It's like a hint into what's going on, like a sneak peek into what's going on inside their head.
Yep. So cough, as Nancy, that was a great recollection. I just pulled it up. Cough, probable cause, a desire to bark at the world. See me, listen to me. And then Louise also puts a new thought pattern. Mm-hmm. Right. And the new thought pattern around that, if it resonates with you, if this whole thing resonates with you, is I am noticed and appreciated in the most positive ways. I am loved.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And so the new thought pattern is clearly an affirmation, and you can incorporate the affirmations in a number of different ways. And so this is a book that's on my bedside table, and this is a book that, you know, we often go to, and there is an app for it. And the boys also look in here as an indication of what's going on with them or others or their friends, and that kind of stuff. And again, we use it as a basis of understanding. And so then we'll take that new thought pattern and utilize it as an affirmation. And we take it one step further, and we actually purchase as gifts for the holiday season, Christmas time, calendars. She has an affirmation calendar, 365 degree, or 365 degree, that's funny, 365 day calendar that we give out to all of our friends and family and clients. And this year we bought 48 calendars. It keeps going up every year. We give them to our broker. We give them to our assistant broker in the office, and all of the lovely ladies in the financial that take care of all the financials in the office. And it's such a great way to, pass on the love energy and the affirmative energy on a daily basis. So every day they get a gift.
Yep.
And it's just beautiful.
So then the other thing is that as you get into practice with this, is that what you really realize is, you know, the title of the book is You Can Heal Your Life, is that you can literally heal your life. Once you identify some of these patterns, you can heal just about anything. You can actually heal everything. Yeah, it's just your power of belief.
Right. Yeah, it's awesome. Beautiful. Awesome. I love it.
You got another book?
Yes, I do. So, The Tao of Health, Sex, and Longevity by Daniel Ried.
Juicy.
Yes. What in the world is this doing? Well, let me tell you something. So this book is all about the healing power of sexual energy, what sexual energy does in terms of creation, how to move the sexual energy for the purpose of healing and empowerment and manifesting. And so it goes into, you know, obviously about the sexual energy piece. It goes into different exercises. It goes into different positions. It goes into different, and by exercises, I mean like breathing exercises and physical exercises, and just all of these really amazing things to increase your personal self-worth, your personal self-love, and then, which, you know, into me I see, right? Intimacy. So you have intimacy with yourself, creates momentum and motivation for that coming outward. And I love it. I love it.
It's like a textbook for healing yourself through sexual energy.
Mm-hmm. Sexual energy, nutrition. It goes into fasting and food combination and all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's just really
Taoist birth control.
Mm-hmm. It's great. We love this. We love this one.
Yeah, we've been through this one a couple of times. It is definitely a little dog-eared as well.
Times, that's funny. Yeah. Another honorable mention, we did a podcast about this also. It's called Oming, or orgasmic meditation, which also is utilizing the sexual energy and really Owning the female orgasm. That's by Nicole Daydone. So definitely, check that out.
Mm-hmm. That's a great honorable mention. That and is an honorable mention, and it's one that has also changed our lives.
Oh my gosh!
In the way
Well,
we look
yeah.
at things, so.
Oh, okay, cool. That's true. We do. We ohm every week.
Yeah, and we don't necessarily go back and read that book once a year, but
True.
Yeah,
but we do ohm every week, and this is, I think, we started our 3rd year now at this point
of ohming every week.
Yeah, I would call that foundation.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, awesome.
Okay, cool.
There's a little ditty called the next book. A little ditty called "The Four Agreements."
4 Agreements. Don Miguel Ruiz, and really, Don has a number of books that you can read, whether it's Master of Love or there's an abundance book, all kinds of stuff. But 4 Agreements is the one that we always go back to. So, whether it's talking about integrity or being impeccable with your word is integrity, or stop making assumptions, stop taking things personally. It's just, it's fantastic.
Let's see here. Being impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best.
Yes, always do your best.
So, one of our boys was, we were a little challenged with him at one point, one of the points.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the great downloads that we had was to have him read the 4 Agreements
Mm-hmm.
and then do a book report on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely, I think it moved the chain a little bit with him.
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely.
There's a shift.
Absolutely. It was great. That was a couple years ago, too.
And he still references it, not as often as he used to, but he still references it every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Or, if he's having something going on in school, we can say to him, remember that you don't need to take things personally.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can have a conversation around that from the book.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
So, and I'm looking forward to our other son.
Well, he started it. He picked it
did?
up. Yeah, he picked it up.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so he's in process too.
Nice.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Cool. What else? What else you got? You got another honorable mention, or do you have a?
No, I think so. This is a newly recently added book for us, and we've really, especially like the last couple of years, we've really been focusing on becoming debt free. So this has definitely been a journey for sure. And so the book that's on the list is Tony Robbins' book, which is the 7 Steps to Financial Freedom. It's Tony Robbins' Money, right? We reference it as the money book.
Now, this is the first book he's written in years, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But this guy's been around for a long time.
Yep.
Helped billions of people. And Tony Robbins. So master the game. This is an advanced level book. It's probably a pro level book. Could even be called an all-star book. The philosophies and the strategies and what he goes into in here. And yet I really feel like we've been priming the pump for a long time. So we've been through Dave Ramsey, the 7 baby steps a couple of times. We've done that. We've listened to the book. We've read the book. We've done the workshop, so on and so forth.
Bought the boys their version of that.
We
too.
teach. Yeah, the boys still to this day sort their commission by give, save, and spend. 20% spend, 20% save, and 10% give. And yes, they get commission. They do not get allowance. They get commission. We are breeding entrepreneurs. And so it was very important to us that we move into the direction of the 7 baby steps and be completely debt free. And so we achieved a lot of that. Well, a good portion of that when we completed the sale of our house this past year. And so between 7 habits of, I'm getting all jumbled up now.
7 Habits. Oh, the money book, you mean?
Yeah, the money book, the 7 steps of the freedom. But before that, no, it was the 7 baby steps. I see all these 7s. It's the baby steps, and then we read Jen Sincero's book,
which is an honorable mention for sure.
Yeah, which we fondly refer to in our mastermind group as the Green Book,
which is called
You're a Badass at Making Money.
Yep.
Yep, she's got the You're a Badass, which is the yellow cover, but the green cover, the neon green cover, is You're a Badass at Making Money. So we each read that. I read that probably 4 times. I mean, I was just addicted to her style of writing. She's so fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I finished that, we went into the money book. And let me tell you something, you know, all of these years of re-scripting this scarcity mindset into an abundance mindset all of a sudden clicked. And when I tell you, when I was reading this book, I mean, it was literally, I don't know. It's literally just like, it's amazing. It's completely, whew, it's in the process of transforming our lives. So I'm eternally grateful for him and spending his time and utilizing his power and grace and influence in having these interviews with these different people. And it's really been extraordinary. So again, dog-eared, tabbed. This is one of these books. Well, actually, all of these. I got to tell you. So all of these books, what we do with them is we have hard copies of the book. We'll have the audible version of the book, and then we'll read and listen to it at like 1.5 at the same time. That's a brain hack, by the way, that I learned from Jim Quick, who, by the way, is fantastic. So by reading and listening at the same time, and then I'll use my index finger, especially if I'm at the gym, I'll use my index finger, or, you know, when I'm sitting in the office or in bed reading, and glide over the words. So I'm utilizing all of these senses, and it just goes in. So, and I understand it, and I remember it, and it's an amazing, amazing brain hack. That's my new favorite, I would say.
And
if
I
had to say.
And I give you gratitude not only for getting into that Tony Robbins money book, because that one was actually on your list and not on mine, because I haven't started it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I appreciate all that, you being able to, download and utilize all that information too, because I see where it's making a difference in our finances.
Sure is. Whew.
Yep.
So excited. Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited. Well, I'm excited. I mean, we've put a lot of things in place, and we have meetings, consecutive accountability meetings, or consistent accountability meetings with our wealth manager here in Atlanta, and
we have consistent meetings with each other every week.
Yes,
regarding our personal business and our professional business as well. Yeah. Since how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yeah, we definitely how you do everything.
Yeah. So we know that how we run our personal life is how our business is going to be run as well. So
yeah, it all starts with personal.
Yep. So we rep all of that. So anyway, I appreciate that. And yes, the Jim Quick hack with reading and listening to the same thing at the same time has been monumental for sure.
Yeah. It really cuts down the amount of time.
And I just want to throw out there too, that the other thing that has really helped for all this to sink in is because we hang with some people who read the same kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times we're all reading the same thing at the same time. Mm-hmm. And so we can have these conversations around it that just really cements, what these giants are putting out there, so that we can be giants ourselves. Mm-hmm. So, yep. I mean, it always takes a community. We can't do it on our own. And this is a great example of, not necessarily starting up I'm finger quoting here, a book club, but if you're hanging out with like-minded people, you may want to read some of the like-minded stuff so that you guys can all elevate your game a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Because Napoleon Hill, another huge honorable mention, right? Think and Grow Rich.
Yep.
2 or more people. That's what he defines as a mastermind. So when you're in the space and the energy and the environment, I mean, environment is everything for Bill and I. And you're in a like-minded environment where 2 or more are gathered, then boom, synergy happens. Yeah. And so 1 + 1 all of a sudden equals 16,000.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And it just catapults the learning, because it does. I mean, it's just extraordinary. I don't explain it. I just surrender to it, which yes. I think is the whole thing where we started from this conversation, was surrendering to the processes of these guys. I mean, these folks are amazing. And
get your ego out of the way, park your ego, and surrender to the process.
Right. Yep. Get in the HOV lane.
That's hysterical. With 2 or more people.
Yeah.
Hello?
2 or more people. Oh my gosh. Oh, you can't make that shit up.
Mind blown. Okay, cool. That was awesome. Anything, any other books coming to mind? Because I'm feeling like that is probably, I don't even know how many books that was, but that was quite a few. And, you know, I appreciate them, and I'm just really happy to be able to share these books with y'all. And we will put in some kind of retail link in the in the show notes so that
you guys can just link right to the books and see exactly what we're talking about.
And if you have any comments or questions around the books themselves or
suggestions,
give
me suggestions.
We're always up for suggestions.
We are huge readers.
And we'll revisit this again another day, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you too. I love you. And let's go make some dinner and hang out with our kids for a little while.
Okay, cool.
It's been a day.
Yeah, it has been. I love you too.
All right,
guys. It's a great life. Enjoy creating your evening today. Bye for now.
Peace.
Wow, what a show. Thank you so much for listening. If you're inspired, we ask that you share the podcast with one person and subscribe and follow our show. I'm Nancy Jameson.
And I'm Bill Jameson.
And remember, it's a great life.
Woo!